Hi, I'm back again. Thank you for your hard work from yesterday. I really appreciate it. We know that it's not easy. Sometimes things aren't easy, and sometimes there's things where I wish we were in person so we can talk and chat and hug and laugh and maybe cry a little even sometimes. But we're trying to make the best as we can. And remember that Ms. Christopher and I are always here for you, whether through email or if you need us in our office hours or if you anything else, that contact us. We're here. Okay. Today we are continuing on with this series. This book is called I Am Helen Keller by the same author and illustrator. Brad Metzler is the author, and it is illustrated by Christopher Iliopoulos. And this is part of what we're talking about as far as the world is going right now. And you might be thinking, I don't know how this book is going to help me, but it's something where we think of things where you see in the corner, it says ordinary people change the world. That's also part of this series too, where it says ordinary people change the world. And I'm hoping that as we talk about people and we learn about people, that we realize that we can be people who change the world in our own way. It can be a big change, it can be a small change, but that we know that we can keep forward and moving and making things better for not just me, but making better things for everybody, and not just now, but also for the future. Okay? So I am Helen Keller. When I was little, I was just like you. I loved to play, I loved my dog, and I loved seeing all the bright, beautiful flowers. I also loved copying people. At 6 months old, I could already say, howdy, howdy yourself, tea, tea, tea. Did you just ask for tea? How'd you do that? What can I say? There's no stopping her. On the day I turned 1, I started walking. Oh, and there was another word I loved. Wah, wah. Here's your water. Just like any other kid, right? But there was one thing that made me different. When I was 19 months old, I got very sick. The doctor said I wouldn't live. I did live, but the sickness made me blind and deaf. From what I understand, she had a very high fever that made her so that she couldn't see or couldn't hear. Okay? This is how I see the world. Close your eyes and block your ears. I couldn't see anything or hear anything. That's right, nothing. I know it seems scary. It was scary for me too. Back then, people didn't know how to deal with someone who was deaf and blind. My relatives thought I was a monster. You see the way she behaves? She put her hand in my plate. She ate my food. Wah, wah, wah. She's trying to find her water. She threw the silverware too. She's so poorly behaved. She shouldn't be here. They were right. I wasn't well behaved. I was extremely frustrated. In my dark world, I couldn't tell if anyone noticed me or cared about me. I couldn't see or hear what I was doing. By the time I was 5, I figured out small ways to communicate. To say yes, I nodded my head. To say no, I shook it from side to side. To say father, I motioned to put on his glasses. For mother, I rested my hand on my face. For my baby sister, I did this. And when I'd shiver like I was cold, it really meant Helen wants ice cream. But even with those signs, I couldn't get my dog Belle to play with me. I didn't know how to speak, so I couldn't call her. I just wanted to play with my dog. The saddest part was I got used to a dark and silent world. People told my parents to give up on me, that I'd never be good at anything. They didn't listen, though. After reading about another blind and deaf girl, my parents found something they hadn't had since I got sick. They had hope. We all do. Everyone needs a teacher. Still, I had no idea what the world was about to bring. So this is when they read about a teacher who could help them. And as we know, the teacher's name was Annie Sullivan, that came to help, or Anne Sullivan, that came to help teach Helen Keller. She taught her how to sign. Like her first sign that she learned how to sign was water. She learned that things had words to them and how she could communicate that. She also started to learn Braille. And we know those are a series of dots that mean the letters. And so that's how she could start to read and actually kind of write that way. So she applied to college. And even when she was there, Anne Sullivan went with her and helped her read and do all those things. That's how much Anne was willing to give up her life to help Helen. Okay, so we skipped all the part about her working with Anne and working really hard and going to college. Okay? I became the first deaf and blind person to earn a college degree, and I wouldn't be the last. As I grew older, I wrote 12 books and visited 34 countries. But the most important thing I did was make sure that other people with disabilities could get the same education I had. So she's speaking. She says, my family had the money to hire a private teacher. Not everyone is that lucky. We need to give every person an equal chance. And then other people in the crowd are saying, there she is. She sounds so strong. Today, thousands of deaf and blind students enroll to university thanks to the work Helen did. Riding a horse? How did she do that? There's this book that girl's holding up and it says Helen rides a horse. That was only the beginning. I didn't just help the deaf and blind. I started fighting for social change, to help women vote, to help the poor survive, and to help people who needed it the most. She was one of the earliest supporters of the ACLU to fight for free speech. She was also one of the first supporters to help NAACP, to help Black people get equal rights as well. She met every president from Grover Cleveland to Lyndon Johnson. But let's be honest, they met her. Today, the American Foundation for the Blind and Helen Keller International continues to help the blind and hungry. In my life, they said I was different. They said I would never be normal. But the truth is, there is no such thing as a normal life. Every one of us is like a flower that must be watered. Every one of us is full of potential, and every one of us can overcome obstacles. Look at me. Hear my words. I may not be able to see, but I have vision. I may not be able to hear, but I have a voice. Think of your life as a hill that must be climbed. There's no correct path to get to the top. We all zigzag our own ways. At some point, you'll slip, you'll fall, you'll tumble back down again. But if you get back up and keep climbing, I promise you will reach the top. Don't let anything hold you back. Our lives are what we make of them. There will be obstacles, but there will always be a way around them. I am Helen Keller, and I won't let anything stop me.